So let me tell you, do you believe that there's a serious dog overpopulation problem in the United States? I don't know if have you heard that there's a dog overpopulation?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Let me just share something with you. Do you know
Well, Bob
that...
Barker.
What's that?
Well, Bob Barker always encourages you to get your cats and dogs spayed and neutered.
And historically, like I belong to a number of kennel clubs. It's a hobby, it's a sport. We've been showing dogs since the late 60s, or actually early 70s we started showing. We've had Dalmatians since the late 60s.
Beautiful dogs.
Yeah, they really are. And they have wonderful temperaments, and yeah, they're really great. But it was just kind of like the whole puppy mill idea. There was a serious dog overpopulation if you go back 20, 30 years. In Portland, Oregon, where you are today, in 1974 they were euthanizing 18,000 dogs a year. And that's with a human population that was about half of what it is now. So it was a serious problem. Many people were allowing their family pet to breed, and then their way of dealing with puppies was just to ship them off to the shelter. Shelters were overflowing with dogs. But, because people do care about animals, once they got the message that, gee whiz, their behavior was causing this terrible outcome for dogs, people began to spay and neuter. They began to fence their yards. They began to become what we call now, in the modern era, responsible pet owners. So 2 shelters in Portland then, 2 main shelters here in Portland today, Oregon Humane Society, Multnomah County Animal Control. Those 2 were the ones responsible for 18,000 dogs a year. Last year, with a human population that's about double, Multnomah County euthanized 168 dogs. I mean, we're not talking about improvements, we're talking about revolutionary change, right? And this has happened, and Oregon Humane Society likewise has a number that's in the low hundreds, like Multnomah County. So those 2 together are less than 500 for a metropolitan area that's bigger than 1 million, and no dog was euthanized except for dogs that were too old, too sick, or had serious bite histories. There were no dogs that were euthanized because they were extras, okay, or surplus. So this is the way it is throughout Oregon, Washington, Montana, Idaho, Colorado, Wyoming, all around the Great Lakes, all the way up in the Northeast, New England. There are a few states that still have surpluses. They are southern states that are rural, agricultural. They didn't get the memo as early. They probably didn't have the money actually to put in responsible dog ownership programs at the same time that the northern part of the United States did. So what's happened is that we now have a dog distribution problem. We don't have a dog overpopulation problem. We have, in our part of the country, we don't have enough dogs to meet demand. I should tell you that the ideal is to have supply and demand in equilibrium. As many people want dogs as they are available. Throughout most of these areas that I've mentioned that have solved their problem, they no longer have enough local dogs to meet demand. And that is a result of the responsible dog ownership measures they took, plus the activist regulation to limit anybody that breeds a dog from breeding a dog, no matter how humane or responsible